Hi guys, this is Carol. Welcome back to my channel. And if you have not done so yet, please like and subscribe. Today's production is brought to you by Entourage Nail Gallery products, including nail tips and powders, and also by KDS Glue and my trusty Dollar Tree tapping dish. It's actually a candlestick holder. It was a recommendation by a friend on Latina Nail Designs, and I just had to have one. I had to go to like 3 or 4 Dollar Trees before I can find one, but I got one. So yes, so like I said, welcome back to my channel. And I did a quick soak off because I did not put up a video in the last couple of weeks. I've been a little bit under the weather, but yeah, so I did the soak off and the prep work and the application of the tip. And here we start this video off with me trimming the extension pieces to the desired length. A couple of them a little bit longer than I wanted them to be, so I'm just adjusting them. And some of the angles look kind of weird when you look at the video. That's because my ring light is broken and I'm in the market for something and I'm not sure what it is I want just yet. So it's kind of sitting cockeyed, and so it's not giving you a bird's eye view from directly above my hand. Um, yeah, so it's a little bit strange when you look at some of the angles, but trust me, um, when I say, if I said like hold the file straight up and down or whatever, trust me that it's straight up and down. It's kind of hard for you to see it because the camera isn't directly over my hands. All right, I have two tips that are a little bit longer than I really want them on the right hand, and so we just trimming them for symmetry. Now, this part here where I'm taking some excess tip off because, like you guys know, my style of choice would be, or my shape of choice would be the stilettos or almonettos. I have big hands and it sort of elongates my fingers, which is fine by me. Yeah, so I am using a scissors to trim the excess off of this nail. And not for the life of me, when I switch to the opposite hand, can I cut it with a scissors on the opposite hand. So in this case, I would opt for a nail clipper with a straight edge. Here, I just can't cut it on the opposite hand. In comes the straight edge nail clipper, and in a couple of snips, it was all she wrote. Yes, indeed. So whichever tool you feel most comfortable with, please utilize that. In this case, I love cutting straight across the nail tips with the scissors, but when I cut the sides to trim off excess tips, I could only use it on one hand. The scissors, that is. Okay, enough fooling around with the nail clipper, straight edge clipper. And here I'm opting for a 80 grit sanding band. And I'm operating here at a 3000 RPMs. And all I am doing is blending the enhancement to my natural nail and sheeting to kind of reshape at this point as well. The more pre-work you can do is the better it is for your when you lay in the acrylic and when you hand file in and e-file it. Be careful when you're doing this part because you have texture changes from the enhancement to your natural nail, that you are in full control of your e-file, so you're not pressing down too hard and accidentally hit the natural nail, even though you're at 3000 RPMs. And I promised you guys to work on my cinematography, and even though my ring light is busted, I did get some really good angles on this job, except for when we got to the hand filing parts. I was pulling my hands off the camera, so I cut out as much as that as I could, but I did do some picture in a picture so you get some better angles. All right, so I'm going to use my little duster and dust off the excess dust on my nails. And in comes the Young Nails Protein Bond. You guys know I love this stuff. If you're serious about your nails not lifting, you would use 2 coats of this stuff. It is recommended by the manufacturer as well that you use this as a dehydrator and primer, so you would use 2 coats. A little bit of this stuff goes a long way. Okay, so now that we've finished with this part of the process, it's time for us to put in some real work. Guys, I have to admit, I chose, of course, I'm going to use a Entourage Nail Gallery monomer. I'm using a powder. I chose 2 colors, and I didn't think they were looking really well until after I finished the job and I put some clear polish on the top, the clear gel on the top. I realized how beautiful it was. But I was second guessing myself at the time of doing it. So you will see me kind of switch around the powders that I was using, but in the end, we accomplished the job. So we're going to put some clear. As you guys know, I like to put a thin layer of clear down. I'm playing tic-tac-toe with my supplies. I'm going to put a thin layer of clear. And as you guys can see, I hit the bottom of this jar of clear. Very thin layer, guys. Pinch and expand the video for a better close-up. I'm having a hard time here because I hit the bottom of the jar. And sometimes when you hit the bottom of the jar like that, you can actually touch the jar. And so it will cause clumping at the bottom of the jar with the powder. And guys, I'm so cheap. I want to get the last drop of this the best way I can before I open another one. But before the night is over, I'm going to have to open another one. So this process, I'm just going to have you look at it. It's just me putting a thin layer of clear before I go in and do what I do, when I do what I do. I gotta tilt it to the side to get some powder out. So here it is. I did this switcheroo, and I am once again just repeating the same thing on the opposite hand. Excuse me, guys. Okay, so in comes the powders, and I believe I keep forgetting to look at the powders before I put them down, but I want to say that powder was beige. Yes, beige. And I picked up one bead, put it down in the middle where the nail enhancement meets my free edge. And we're going to join them together right there. Go into the monomer, pick up some more, pick up another bead. And right here, I'm just trying to make sure there is no see-throughs and that there's thickness at the front of the nails. I picked up another bead and I put it to the back, and I'm pulling it forward ever so gently. Watch them sidewalls. And then I was gonna go in with a pink that was just a little bit too sheer, I thought. So it wasn't like a cover pink, which is what I needed. So I was seeing the peach. I guess if I had reversed it, it would have been better. Not the peach, I'm sorry, the beige. It covered, but it wasn't a cover powder. And so I was a little bit, I don't know, I'm not sure. Yeah, I abandoned that idea. Filling in the back and my apex. So I'm tucking it in nice and snug. You can pinch and expand your video right here to get a good close-up on that. Nicely done. Moving right along to the middle finger. Put one bead down and pulling it forward. I wiped my brush off, dipped it in the monomer, picked up another bead, and right here I'm just really concentrating on whether or not I have enough thickness at the front. And making sure that I give the nail an opportunity to have a seamless transition when I put the back bead in. So therefore I'm flattening down where it would join together. These powders are so smooth. Alrighty guys, so I had my first product review. It was done by Latina Nail Designs with a Z on the end. And she did an absolute fabulous review. I did not tell her what to say, but I was so proud to see someone review my powder, and all the elements that I put into what I wanted my powder to do, she hit on them without me prompting her to say it. So I was very excited that the powder actually worked the way it was supposed to. Thank you, Marcy at Latina Nail Designs. Go check her out, guys, at Latina Nail Designs with a Z on the end. So I put a bead in the back. I'm sorry, guys. I'm in the spare bedroom. My husband I have some kind of a weird cough, and he decides that I'm not going to sleep in the room with him tonight. So I'm on my own doing this voiceover for you guys. My husband of 17 years doesn't want to catch my cold. Whatever happened in sickness and in health, right? But in any event, it's all good. Isn't that Dappindish cool? So I was watching someone's lives, Latina Nail Design Live, and she had a Dappindish, and y'all know I'm crazy about Dappindishes, especially the ones that I did not pay a lot of money for. And she said she got it at the Dollar Tree. So I went to 1, 2, 3 Dollar Trees before I found one. So you might be lucky if you would like to have one. They're at the Dollar Tree currently right now. But I had to go to a couple of stores to find it. And I paid $1.25 for mine. Not you're not gonna catch me paying $26 $30 something for a Dappin dish. I did in the past, and then I got wise about stuff like that. So here it is, guys. I'm putting a bead down, and I think that was a second bead in the middle, and I'm smoothing it forward. Clean off my brush, picked up another one, and I'm going in towards the back, tucking it in nice and snug. Pay attention that you're not flooding the cuticles and the side walls here. And then when I pull the powder down from the sides, the both sides and then the middle, it just does something for the shape of the nail. It's just, try it, guys. I can't explain it. At least I can't explain it right this second. But when you put the powder down, try pulling it down on the sides first and then in the middle, and just watch the shape of the nail take place. Clean off your brush, dip it in the monomer, pick up another bead, put it down right here in the apex area, pull it from the side, and then the middle. There's just something about what it does for the nail. Police up those side walls and the cuticles. Wrong lid for that jar. Moving on to the pinky nail. And I'm going to pick up a bead. And I'm going to place it sideways. Because my pinky nail itself is very tiny, skinny. So that one bead literally covered the whole nail. Clean my brush off, dip it in the monomer, pick up some powder, and I am filling in the cuticle bead, pulling it from the sides. There's something about it, guys. Try it. I can't explain it, but try it. I'm missing some powder on the side. Right there. One more bead. We're going for the thickness on the front right here. Pulling it forward. Make sure we build up the thickness on the nail. And now to that thumb. Once again, because of the angle of the camera, I was having a hard time on how to fill in my thumb. I will make a decision quickly on what equipment I'm going to have because it's really beginning to bug me. Put that bead down and I'm pulling it forward ever so gently, making sure my brush is clean and free from product. Pick up a bead and I'm going to go to the back. Am I? Yep. Tucking it in nice and snug, like a bug in a rug. Look how self-leveling these powders are, guys. letting the product emulsify on the brush. Put it down in the center and pull it forward. Something in my powder. Definitely don't want to encapsulate that in my nails. So as we go along here, I am just rinsing and repeating the process I did on the opposite hand. So when I am working on with the non-dominant hand to the dominant hand, I tend to work a little bit more deliberate because you just have to slow down and do the process a little bit more deliberate because there's a little bit of a brain confusion happening here. When you switch your hands, that the brain is like, wait a second, you're right-handed, what are you doing? And it comes with a little bit of practice that you would do the non-dominant hand to the dominant hand. So take your time here, guys. This part comes with practice. And you can also see me struggle when I do it sometimes. So I'm placing a reverse bead, slightly off camera, but that's what I'm doing, guys. Placing a reverse bead and smoothing it to the front. And if you notice, there's a little bit of transparency on the free edge and perhaps not enough thickness. So I'm going to have to go back, yes, and place a bead right there so I can achieve both thickness and coverage. Clean off my brush. I dipped it in the powder and I'm placing it with a enhancement and my nail tip meats, my natural tip meats, or my free edge meats, yeah. Repeat that process. Now I am at the cuticle area. Slow down here, guys. Even for myself, I can sometimes flood the cuticle on the non-dominant hand when working with the non-dominant hand. And so gentle strokes, put the product down. Make sure you clean in your brush. And I've been practicing picking up my beads with my left hand. So you can see one of my salon owner friends challenged me to do it with the non-dominant hand, and I have been working at it. I still have to switch sometimes, but it's okay. Like I said, there's a certain amount of brain confusion that happens when you're working with the left hand. When you're right-handed, it will do what you want it to do. The brain is just that magnificent. It will catch up to what it is you're trying to do. For instance, if I was supposed to lose one hand, the opposite hand will automatically do what the opposite hand would have done for me. If I'm right-handed and I lose my right hand, all of a sudden I can lose my left hand. The brain works like that. So it's not far-fetched to believe that you could use your non-dominant hand. It just takes a second for the brain to be like, okay, is that what we're doing now? I join in the middle, pull it down on the sides, then the middle. Try it, guys. Young Nails, Greg highly recommends that method, and I've been using it, and my shape didn't start getting pretty at this process, at this stage of the application, until I started doing that. Side, side, and then the middle. Police up the sidewall. So I still prefer cleaning the brush with my right hand. And because I'm doing some non-dominant hand work, my brush tend to get a little dirty. So in that other cylinder jar has a little bit of acetone just to keep my brush clean throughout this process. I don't typically need it when I'm working on somebody else, but when I'm working on myself, particularly with the non-dominant hand process, I do need a little bit of acetone to keep my brush healthy. Moving on to the pinky, I'm doing the same thing. One bead in the middle with a enhancement and my free edge meat. I ever so gently bring that bead forward, clean my brush, dip it in the monomer, Pick up another bead, and I am placing it in the cuticle area. Pulling it forward and policing up the side walls. If this was the NASCAR, every time I clean off my brush in the acetone, that would be a pit stop for changing tires. Back to the cuticle area, putting it into the cuticle nice and snug. Got a little flooding. A little bead in the front for thickness and full coverage. If you're seeing through it, perhaps it's not covered thick enough on the end. That's one way to know if you need another bead. If you can see through it, you're probably not thick enough. Oops. Now we're going in for the clear to do the upper layer encapsulation. And this just helps so that when I am reshaping with the hand file as well as the e-file, I'm not taking off the colored powder. I'm just working with the removing some of the clear and still have the color powder untouched. And this process for me tends to go a little bit faster than when I am doing the actual color powder. So you see the pink and the beige one. I abandoned the process of doing that. And after I got through the whole nail process and I put the first layer of clear on it, I was like, oh my God, I should have just done all of them that way. It was so pretty. Happens, guys. So this is just the encapsulation process, just a clear layer of acrylic over the previous work. And you guys notice I opened a small jar of clear acrylic. In this video, I'm only going to be doing my right hand to my left hand. After a point, I'm just going to finish this video up on the left hand. As you can hear my voice, I am not in the best of health right now, and I was getting tired and frustrated, and I was like, look, I gotta post a video. I haven't done one in a second, and I just really wanted to get through the video, and it was taking forever. So I think at this point I already put the acrylic on the right hand, but I'm not gonna file it and hand file it and e-file it on this video, you'll just see the conclusion in the end. I was like, to hell with it. Sometimes, guys, you got to take time off to take care of yourself. It's called self-care. And at this point in the game, I'm beginning to think I need to go to the doctor and get some type of a cough syrup or antibiotic or something. I'm not sure. I'll keep you posted. See how deliberate I'm putting that bead down, guys? It's not that I'm unsure of what I'm doing. I'm letting my brain get caught up with the fact that I'm switching my hands. Clean up, everybody, everywhere. I do like to work on a clean surface. Playing tic-tac-toe with where everything's supposed to be. If my other phone don't stop sending notifications. So I am coming to, I don't know, people talk about liquid to powder ratio, and I want you to know that liquid to powder ratio is a broad term for how you mix your acrylic and for what purpose you mix in the acrylic. So when I do this liquid to powder ratio here with the clear, I kind of mix it a little bit liquidy, because when I smooth it out, I want a smooth application. There are other times when I will, mix the liquid and the powder, and I would dehydrate the brush with the powder on it because I want the paper towel to suck some of the monomer out. But at this point, when I'm mixing right here, I want it to be a little bit sloppy, because when I lay it, you want it to go almost over like creamy, smooth over the top of the nail. So if you're still at that stage where you're having lumps and stuff like that, you should be able to smooth out the lump areas right here in this process, especially if it's not too lumpy. If it's too lumpy, then you need to really work on your craftsmanship. But at this point, this is a slushy, I shouldn't say sloppy, but slushy mixture, liquid to powder on the encapsulation part to get that actual smooth. So when you hand filing or e-filing, really there's little work to do to smooth it out. This is a smoother mixing. And also the fact that the powder is clear and there isn't any pigment in it, it will tend to mix smoother, but I am intentional about the smooth that I'm mixing on the top when I am encapsulating. Whether I'm encapsulating objects in the nails or just a layer of encapsulation over colored powder, I like that liquid to powder to be a little bit more on the slushy side. Almost like when you have snow outside. I'm from Boston, guys. I can only make those references. And you got some water mixed in with the snow. It has a little slushy instead of that powder texture of the snow. That's what I'm going for right here. And you can literally see it, that it's smooth. And it's self-leveling. So if you are still having, guys, I swear this is a beginner's powder. It's professional powder, but it's so beginner friendly that you could be learning and thinking, oh my God, this is easier than I thought, because the powder will help you out so much. It's just to support your efforts. Alrighty, so I'm gonna let these dry for a second, and then I'll come back and you would see me hand file just the left hand. Testing the powder to see if it is ready for hand filing. And guys, here it is. I put a picture in a picture because I will go off camera a little bit, and that's just here to show you the proper hand filing position. But you can still see that the file is straight up and down. And because I did not actually shape these into, I did clip the ends, but I didn't shape them into a stiletto at the time of, before I started putting the acrylic down. I am really pushing up against that hand file to cut into the acrylic to give me a pointed edge. And I file a couple, like 3 or 4 on one side, and then I file to the opposite side, and I'm looking for symmetry on the tip, that they're even on both sides. With my double jointed self. Look at how deep my thumbnail would bend in. It's weird looking, guys. Kind of Jurassic Park looking kind of formation of my finger, my thumb. So you see how my hand kept on going off. I will include, when possible, a picture in a picture to actually show you the proper position. Always inspecting to see if I'm even on both sides when I'm cutting in on the sides. You can pause the video right here to look at the picture in the picture so you can see what is happening or should be happening because my hands keep going off script here. Yes, picture in a picture to show you the position that my finger is in. Pretty damn cool, huh? So when I'm hand filing, oh, this is an awesome picture I get here with the position that I'm working on the middle finger. So you naturally want to, when you have your two hands working together, you naturally want to pull your hands towards you. And that's the reason why I keep going off. And then I have to keep looking up to make sure my hands is on camera. Y'all pray for me, I'll get it together. I have to admit though, on this video, I had less stuff to cut out. Um, my cinematography is getting better. But like I said, it's an opportunity for you to use your imagination. I wonder what she's doing when she's off camera. That's the hand position that I'm using right now. Yes, guys, and I have some pressure. You see the file bounce off my finger. I am actually pushing up against it because I am reducing bulk to create the shape that I desire. Yep. Each time that nail file bounces off my hand, you can see the pressure it was under. So I'm pushing. Hand file position in the picture. Each time one of those pop up, I think that was the last one that is going to pop up, you could stop the video just and expand just to get a good look at that hand position I was trying to convey to you. All right, so here it is. I moved in with my Melody Susie e-file, and I am sealing the cuticle. Is a nice hand position in the picture. And I'm going around and being very careful to make sure I can see where the powder is, where my natural nail is, and where my cuticles are. That's when you know you have a good seal. When I go up and down, I am hitting a broader surface than when I go side to side. And you want to have a good grasp on both moving the e-file up and down. cleaning up under the nail. So this is the side-to-side motion here. That will smooth, and the up and down will actually remove bulk. And at least the nails are a little bit grainy, so you definitely want to come back and do side to side. Once again, I'm going around the cuticle area. You want to make sure you can see the powder, your natural nails, your cuticle. So on these, because we filing in so hard on the sides, when you file on the sides like this, if you flip your hands over, there's going to be some debris stuck underneath the nail, and you kind of want to make sure you get that out. Once again, going around the cuticle, side to side to make sure. So this is the up and down motion I was talking about, and then side to side will smooth it out. I got a little picture in a picture on the top. Make sure you check those out. We're retrofitting this nail so that everything fits within the sidewall. It shouldn't be pushing your sidewall out right here. And a good thing to do is to look at your finger from above the finger so you can make sure you can see the cuticle and the sidewall. I call it like drainage. You want to see it go all the way around in a semicircle formation. Yes, make sure that nail is retrofitted inside the cuticle and the sidewalls. Don't forget the pinky. All right, you guys know I'm all about the smooth. So I have my sponge buffer. One side is a little bit grittier than the other, and I start on that side. My 180 sponge on one side. I love my sponge buffer. And I go around the cuticle with this because I do shampoo my clients, and I don't want to have a little ridge back there where it's pulling on the hair. So you'll see me go around the cuticle. But you don't have to have a client to be concerned. You just don't want it snagging even your hair. So I do go around the cuticle with it as well. And it's gentler than the e-file. See right here, around the cuticle. Yes, guys, I'm all about the smooth. And now I am using the softer, smoother side and going over the nails, making sure Them bad boys are ready to be polished, right? It's nothing worse than trying to either polish with gel or polish with nail polish and it's lumpy and bumpy. It will show your work, your craftsmanship. It'll call you out, okay? And I don't care what you do to your nails. When you're working them, if the nail is not smooth, you're just doing it for practice. Now, in comes my ShamWow buffer. This bad boy create friction, it create heat, and it actually really makes that surface smooth and prepped and ready for polishing. Baby's butt smooth right here. I'm going up underneath them to make sure that it's not sharp on the bottom. After this, I'm going to put some cuticle oil down so I can see that cuticles are well sealed. You guys know I like to do that, and I'm using the Entourage Nail Gallery cuticle oil here. And you can tell the camera is right by my hand. I can't pull the dipstick up. Yes, and so right now I'm just inspecting to make sure that the cuticle oil goes all the way around the finger and it also starts hydrating the nails. And this is it, guys. They came out so beautiful. See the pink and peach and page on the end. So this is after I've washed and dry. I'm gonna come back now and really hydrate for real hydrate the cuticle. And I love this cuticle oil. It has a great smell. And I like to, not just the cuticle, but I would rub it in all over my hands. Some people don't like a lot of oil. I don't mind it at all, especially when I work on myself. If there's any spillage on my hands or whatever, I really like the cuticle oil. So pretty. Love it. That's the end results, guys. And I'm going to be wearing these for a little while. Join me on another video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And I will be coming up soon with a nail challenge for those who would like to participate. Can't wait to see you on another nail video.